Hi guys, and welcome to this look at the McFarlane Twisted Fairy Tales set. Now I'm not too clued up on the McFarlane monsters, to be honest, so I might be saying something that's a bit wrong here, but from what I understand, this set here is series 4 of McFarlane Monsters. I guess, I mean, there obviously was the McFarlane Monsters with Dracula and the werewolf and the sea creature and mummy, blah blah blah, which I believe was the series 2, because from what I think, there was a series 1 which had small scale figures, little play sets, to be honest. What series 3 was, I'm not too sure. I don't think the Infernal Parade got classed as the series 3, or the might have been the Christmas ones. I'm not too sure, so I don't want to say, but I do know that this is series 4 of the McFarlane Monsters Twisted line, and there are obviously, like I say, quite a few Twisted series, as in the Wizard of Oz, Twisted Land of Oz. I guess that could be series 3. I don't know. Obviously the monsters, and of course with the Christmas ones as well. But like I say, what we're focusing on here is the 6 figures from the McFarlane Monsters Twisted Fairy Tales line, and we have here Miss Muffet, Peter Pumpkin Eater, Humpty Dumpty, Gretel, Red Riding Hood, and Hansel over there. So what we'll do is I'm just going to clear some of these out of the way, just to make it a little bit easier, just to see what we're looking at, because there's quite a lot going on there, to be honest. And we'll obviously have a look at this one first, which is Miss Muffet. I don't really know much or anything about this line, to be honest. I know that obviously McFarlane likes to do their own take on things, but quite why they have Miss Muffet in her bondage gear and all that, I'm not too sure, but it sells, so I mean, I've brought it. But they obviously, they know what they're doing, they know their core market that they're going for, so we'll let them go on with it. Right, so in terms of this Miss Muffet, they are all basically pre-posed. You can't really do anything with them. With a lot of McFarlane stuff, it's just pre-sculpted, and that's how it is. Putting this together, this was a little bit hard going, to be honest. I'm guessing that she should be more, I should have her legs more like that. That's it. That's a bit better. Because of her bowl there spilling onto the floor. Now this bowl comes, there is articulation in terms of this arm moves here, that it just all slots together quite awkwardly, as in on the base of the spider. You can see there's 2 holes there, one here and one here. They have to click into there and there, so she's sort of at this, like this, and then the stool clips into a little hole into the side of her leg there, and the bowl into a little hole into her shoulder there. So it is a little bit of a bugger to get together, to be honest. Like I say, the articulation in her legs is literally just there, which is just a swivel point, and this one here, which again is another swivel point. But there's obviously Miss Muffet there. And the spider, there is articulation in the legs. They do move, as in they just twist a little bit, but you don't want to be playing around with him too much, because they do feel like they're gonna break off at any moment, to be honest. So that's obviously a spider, and I'm sure you'll agree the spider's got some great detail in it as well. You can't fault it for detail. That's just a great figure to leave lying around the house on its own, just to scare the hell out of everyone, to be honest. So that's Miss Muffet. Here we have Peter Pumpkin Eater. I don't even know what Peter Pumpkin Eater is, to be honest. I can't even tell you the story of it. Someone might be able to, but I don't know the story, to be honest. So I don't even know what he's all about. Obviously, you just saw this little axe comes in 2 parts, and you just slot it into his hand there. And he's got rotation in the wrist, the arm here, but they're all obviously pre-sculpted, so you really can only really have them one way. Again, this wrist here, and obviously the top of the pumpkin comes out there. And I don't know about the waist. I think there's the waist. Yeah, there's in the waist as well. And that's it, to be honest. And just like the Miss Muffet, this pumpkin attaches into a little hole on his leg through that little peg there. And there's even loads of detail in the pumpkin, to be honest. It says Pete, Sally. I guess that's Sally in there. Sweetheart, Boo, Blood. And the detail, even all the little bits going on in there, are pretty sick, to be honest. And that's obviously the peg hole in his leg where that clips into. But obviously I will have a little, by doing this video has just made me realise I better have a little look and see what on earth the Peter Pumpkin Eater is all about, to be honest, because I haven't got a clue. Actually, my daughter's doing a thing about alternative fairy tales, so I might bring this into her and let her have a look at it and see what she thinks. She's 6. But anyway, so that's Peter Pumpkin Eater. I don't know what he's about. The detail in him is fantastic. He's got a load of decay going on there. He's obviously got scarring going on there where he's put marks and stitching going on. His bits of bone and flesh poking through. He's got big clawed hands and feet, so a little bit intrigued as to what he's all about, to be honest. And obviously I'll try and find out what's going on there with him. Actually, I'll do these two together while they're here, because this is Hansel and Gretel. Now, for me, this Hansel figure is brilliant. The detail and all the little bits and pieces going on here is absolutely fantastic. Cannot fault this whatsoever. This little bone comes in 2 parts, and obviously again you just slot it into his hand. He's loose in there. Obviously he comes on this little chain which you just hook around all the pulleys. Little loose chain there, and at the bottom here we've got a little rat and skulls and candy canes and lollipops and all loads of things going on there. None of this works, and obviously got a little axe poking there, but the detail that has gone into this is fantastic. And Hansel himself looks like he's had a lobotomy in there or something's going on in there which is a little bit wrong. But I'm sure you'll agree that looks absolutely fantastic as a horrible mucked up twisted fairy tale interpretation of Hansel. And then he gets a hot sister in terms of this is Gretel mopping up, I guess, the witch's blood, or she's made to clean up when they're at the witch's house. Again, not much articulation. There's articulation in this leg here, and I think that's it on this figure, to be honest. Yeah, just this leg here gives a little bit of rotation just on the thigh here. Oh, and the hands, the wrists rotate just so you can obviously line up the mop. And believe it or not, there's a little bit of articulation in the end of the mop here as well, so just to line that up a bit more perfectly. But the detail that's obviously gone into Gretel is obviously fantastic. Quite why she, well, I was going to say looks normal, but she's obviously of normal scale and stuff, and then Hansel's, I suppose in theory, a kid in there, all a bit mucked up, I don't know, but in terms of the story, he's obviously been cooped up in there for quite a while, and Gretel's not, to be honest. But anyway, I don't know, maybe the witch decided she should dress like that or whatever, I don't know. But obviously, in terms of figures, they're absolutely fantastic. They're not, I suppose better say as well, they're not too hard to get hold of, these figures as well. They are pretty easy to get hold of. You shouldn't have too much trouble getting hold of any of them. The only one you probably will have trouble getting hold of is Red Riding Hood, to be honest. She's the hardest one. But they're honestly not that hard to get hold of, so you shouldn't have any problems. Here we have Humpty Dumpty. Now this is quite a heavy piece of well, it's what I say figure, but it is obviously just a plaque, really, to be honest. But the detail that's gone into Humpty Dumpty is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you can see all the millipedes and maggots and bugs and things going on there. It's absolutely disgusting. Just, you know, obviously he's split and all his intestines are coming out, and there's just, this is probably one of the sickest things I've got in terms of grossness. With regard to, I mean, he's got bullet holes going on the wall behind him. It looks like he's been shot at, and bullet holes going into him here. I assume they're bullet holes, but it's just the bugs in it and the maggots and the intestines, and it's just horrible, to be honest. I must admit, I'm sitting here looking at it thinking this is just vile thing. Believe it or not, he does have some articulation in the wrists. All you can do is just move these little stubbed hands there, and that's all you can do with this. There's absolutely nothing more you can do with it, to be honest. But he do look pretty cool, I'm sure you'll agree, but it's just vile. Nothing more I could say about this, to be honest. I've got to be honest with you, when I saw pictures of it, and probably even it doesn't do it justice on this video, but when you look at it in you know, as it is just disgusting, to be honest. There's big old staples. You just see more and more every time you look at it. I mean, like this, it looks like that's like something's popped and all this yellow ooze is dribbling out of it, and you just see more and more every time you look at it. But absolutely vile, horrible piece there. So what we got left? We've just got Red Riding Hood left. Red Riding Hood comes in two parts. Obviously Red Riding Hood herself, and if I can find it, here we are, the wolf. Now this, like I say, this is the hardest one to get hold of, and probably the best looking one as well, to be honest. Obviously, of course, Red Riding Hood's looking pretty hot there as well, which helps with the sales, Mr. McFarlane. But it looks absolutely fantastic, and to be honest, if you only had one figure out of this whole series, just go for Red Riding Hood, because it looks absolutely brilliant, and it is a big piece as well, in terms of, you know, once you got it together. I mean, she's got her big cape, her obviously hood, and obviously you've got your wolf there. But let's just have a look at the wolf to start with. Now obviously you've got the bit here where she's holding it by the scruff when they're together, but there's Grandma coming out of his stomach, and they've got all this gore and blood and oozing coming out there, and even just on the back there you can see, like, I guess, intestines and kidneys and lungs and grossness going on there. But the sculpt of the wolf itself is absolutely brilliant, absolutely faultless, to be honest. And Red Riding Hood herself, she comes with a couple of bits of articulation, just meaning this arm here moves, and the knife, the blade she's got there, that can come out of her hand if you wish, but that's held in by a rubber band on there, so I'm not gonna move that. And this cape is sort of, it is a soft rubber, but it's quite hard sculpted, so there's not really anything you can do with that, to be honest. But in terms of the sculpt of her herself, I'm sure you'll agree, it's absolutely brilliant. She's got all these studded bits coming off her, and spikes and things, and of course, wearing nothing much. And the detail gone into even into just the back of the cape there, which, you know, at the end of the day you're not looking at. It's absolutely fantastic. And, you know, where all the cape goes onto the floor. Brilliant. Absolutely faultless, to be honest. So like the line, as in the series, isn't that popular, to be honest. It obviously never took off that well, I guess, because there's not really too much I can find out about it. But the figures themselves are brilliant. I must admit, if I had a choice between collecting the Infernal Parade or the Twisted Fairy Tales, I would go for the Infernal Parade. Don't know what it is, just like it about them, but they're in the same sort of similar vein, to be honest, I guess. But obviously the Infernal Parade being Clive Barker's Infernal Parade. But in terms of figures in their own rights, these are good. Absolutely brilliant addition to anyone's collection. They don't look too out of place along with all the other McFarlane, like I say, the Infernal Parade things, and even the Cenobite type things. Obviously it's a little bit out there in terms of weirdness, but I'd just like to know a little bit more about the stories as opposed to the traditional stories, what McFarlane's take on the stories is. In the packaging, there wasn't like a little story like you got in the Infernal Parades or the Tortured Souls or anything like that. You just literally got the sleeve with the pictures of them on, and these are from 2005. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously anyone looking to collect these, do so. Brilliant addition to anyone's collection. As I say, thanks for watching. Please comment or subscribe, and I'll catch you guys again soon in the next video. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye bye.